I'll just wait until a person comes in before I start talking. This is really just for updates and more testing to see if I can find my way around and work out how to maneuver through these. Hi NFJ, I'm on. Yes, I am on. I hope you brought your own food and drink though, because I don't supply any. Pop out dashboard. What does that do? Oh, I know. Oh, it's a different page. Well, I'm going to do that. It's a bit awkward to try and test it without people coming in, and then. So what I want to try and do is, I'll wait until a couple more come in if they do. Thanks for coming in, INFJ. This is going to be very interesting for you because don't want to send feedback. I see this is microphone. I can mute that. I'm trying to work out how to put the link into the top. It doesn't look like that does that. So that could be interesting, couldn't it? I hope you've had a good day. I'd assume it was sort of like 3 o'clock-ish, 2-ish, 4-ish, somewhere around there for you. Probably past dinner time. So, well, I'll start now anyway. So if somebody watches this afterwards, they will see. So basically, Paul's agreed to doing a stream Friday. I just have to get hold of Davey B because I'm sort of in the middle. So depending on the daylight savings, I'm either 7 hours or 8 hours ahead of the US and behind Australia. So at this moment in time, Davey B should be asleep around 5-ish in the morning for him. There's a lot of interesting days. How close? It depends how close you're talking about. The 19th should have been an interesting day, and as I said in the other video, there's a lot of videos that I did and haven't put out that have been interesting days in the past. Had I put them out ahead of time, they would have been interesting days. And some I have information, and I'm unsure as to whether to put that information out. As I said in yesterday's video, the way I see it is Forrest made lots of statements, and in those statements we should try to work out what was on the hook. So he may have cast in about 3 or 4 lines, and we had to choose, which hook had what on it. That's the best way I can say it. And it should, I would say easy, but it's not easy. Once you get into it, it gets easier to decide which hook offers the greatest reward. For everybody, not just for not just for the one fish, but for everybody. So could you put an old one out now without having things to help validate your theory? Yeah, I could. I could. I feel that the ones I have put out already, people are just saying, "Oh, you're saying after the event," and even Dale, Forrest speaking to Dale about the 2 poems and the poem, to aid the finder. Those those sort of statements that Forrest made. Well, all of the statements. No, not all of the statements. The majority of the statements that Forrest makes that are in the poem are there to aid the finder, not the seeker. If you're seeking, then you just can carry on seeking. But if you are the finder, then you will understand the information that came out, similar to, I suppose I could put the Flat Island in the Madison and the Totem Cafe information. So while people are saying that the Nookers are doing, whatever the word is for that, not devious, it's not devious, it's, I don't know, whatever the word is, I can't think of the word at the moment. But while they're saying that it's all on the Nookers' behalf, basically, I and David B don't feel that it is. I feel there was information there that aids in understanding, some of the poems, some of the chase. And if you know what is worth knowing and what is not worth knowing, then you have a chance. Hey, Tim. All good, all good. I'm sorry about what I did with that stuff that you sent me. I appreciate that you gave me the game and everything, and I appreciate the other that you gave me, but I just wasn't expecting anything in there. Just naughty boy. I should have known because I did feel something, but I thought it was just like a piece of card that was in there. So I'm sorry about that. I'm just stupid. But it's good to see you there anyway, and I hope that you haven't gone, insane yet with all the stuff that you're finding. Because, and like I said in yesterday's video, if not for Davey, I was at the point where I found a lot of stuff in the poem, and like I say, the stuff that I find about myself, I find is very scary. And I sometimes wish that maybe you can just find anything in the poem or any text and be led to believe, that's what it is. But it was nice to have, somebody else say, well, actually, yeah, it's there, and not me leading, I don't lead Davey to what we see in the poem. He, he sees it for himself. I don't say, and look at me here, and look at this, and look at this, and look at this. I just, we have conversations, and those conversations are pretty intense sometimes in regard to the information that, when I ring them up and say, okay, so, I'll tell you about this and we'll talk about that and those sort of things. I find it sounds, yes. Yeah. There you go, NFJ. Tim is doing the same. And that's exactly what I say every time to Davey B. So, and I could be making these things up in my head, and there could be confirmation bias and all of that stuff. But, got to be 500 different poems that I wrote and, I'm going over with Davey. And I say that I wrote the information that's in the poem. And this is just the one way that I show you, but there are other ways that I've done, that I have showed you that I've done in that way. But I think yesterday, or was it today? Yesterday, I think John Chitter made a comment about something being living, and it's like the poem is a living organism. It seems to shift, drift, adjust, and adapt to whoever's reading it. And we can talk about moths and butterflies and planets and constellations, and we could talk about the moon. We could talk about maps. We can talk about people in history, places. Everything that I've talked about, everything that I've talked about, and those things are real, and they're not just while you can get them in different areas of the poem, they all they are all continuous, chronological, one foot on top of the other. They all touch, and it's Forrest going in circles. And Dal is in the poem, and the conversations are in the poem. The conversations that people say are private are in the poem, so they're not private. They were in there, from the very beginning. And words like terminal cancer, could be the pot of gold spot. And the statement that everybody thought I had what was, terminal cancer. It's like, what's that got to do with everybody? Surely that's just the doctors. The doctors thought you had terminal cancer, not everybody. So it's like you're talking about a different, or Forrest is talking about a different thing, which is crazy, and which is, it has to be earlier. The chase has to be started earlier, because Douglas said 1995 he knew about the Arizona car park, and even that, if there is a meetup and it's there, it's going to be in Arizona or Nevada, whatever that is, wherever that is. If that is the place that was mentioned, I don't know the US very well, but I do realize that it could be Arizona, and that was the statement that was made. The car would be there, but it's not important to the solve. Although, it doesn't say it's not going to be important after the solve. And the two statements, it's a simple poem. You're going to think, why didn't I think of that? And that's why me and you, Tim, while we're doing these crazy, fantastical, wondrous and imaginative solves, that is not going to be the simple solve that everybody's going to think, why didn't I think of that? Doesn't mean to say it's not a correct solve after all said and done, because he did say it's difficult but not impossible. So you could be doing the difficult but not impossible solve. I tried to do every single solve that was in there. Everybody who had a solve, I was hoping that I was finding their answers, but with the poem, not doing their answers through, research and stuff like that. And that, that includes Indy and everyone. The words that we use in the poem help you find a starting point. So if you want, you want to look at the Holy Grail, which is just a synonym of other words, and you think that is the starting point, and you find that information in the poem. And it's like, oh no, surely not. And I think I said, me and Dave would talk about Montezuma's Gold, which is in Utah. Yeah, I think Utah. But he ruled it out. So like, no, it's not that one. But early in the chase, it could have been. It could have well been something like that, or Idaho, or all of the information that Forrest gave was like, as he said, it was to aid the finder, not the seeker. Now you can find that information in the poem, and using that aid the finder information, you can find different information, such as, Dal, listen, there is another poem in the chest, and other information. And if Forrest wrote that before the book came out, it was again predicted. Now, I did the lawyer's office and did the Far Too Soon video that Ryan Bavetta asked for 3 words. Pam said far too soon. I could do the along the Madison River to the Flat Island and the Token Cafe. That sort of information. But there's other information as well. I'm sure Tim knows, and like I say to Davey, there are people out there that have it's hard to know the word. I don't want to say correct, because then I'll be saying that, you have the solve, and I don't want to put like words into people's mouths or try to make people think that, I know their answers or that I know anything. So I'd have to say credible. So they have credible solves or credible information, and Queen, I haven't seen Queen for ages. And she has amazing information. And there's colitis. Steve GTA early on was talking about stuff that he was finding. Somebody told me about, was it Jamie Minnesota was doing similar stuff? And it's quite possible that these people have the exact same information or their own information. What I will say is, got the back end of what Kiwi Show was about, and everybody's soul will have that feeling of this is correct. This is absolutely correct. It can't be anything else. It has to be this. But I did that, 500 times. 500 times I did that, and it's only, you have to, have to, you have to use the statements that Forrest made. So you have to understand, begin it where warm waters halt. You have to understand that. Then you have to understand if you don't have warm waters halt, you might as well stay home and play canasta. And I did a video with that. Canasta is at warm waters halt, and it is at home, where home is. And I can't remember what the information was in between that. But people have solved the first two clues and walked right by the chest. You have to understand that. This is a simple solve that I'm talking about now. You have to understand that. You have to understand why the girl from India can't get closer than the first two clues. Not only do you have to understand that, you have to put that into your solve. If that doesn't work with your solve, if you understand it but it doesn't work with your solve, then I don't believe that the solve can be correct. One of the solves that could be a correct solve. You have to have different solves. Sorry, you have to have different solves, is what I'm trying to say. You have to. The first statement of the secret treasure, and that already says there's a treasure that I've told you about and there's a treasure that I haven't. And there could be more things that Forrest hasn't said. So that already says there's two things. Then you have to look at the fact that it's simple and difficult but not impossible. So that also says there's two things. Then you read the poem and it says, so why is it that I must go? I must. Well, more often than not, when Forrest must do something, it's because he's made a promise. I must go down and thank the waterfall, those sort of things. I must. So therefore, either there was a promise made, or in that first instance, the chest was found, and now there's something else. There's something else. And the poem, I already mentioned before, there's two poems written in the poem. So that could be two poems. There's the poem that you read, which words don't mean what you think they do. So therefore, there's the imagination. So you have the knowledge that is the poem. And then you have the imagination, which is more important than the knowledge that you have, of words that don't mean what you think they do. So in your mind, and you can leave the poem as it is. I mean, I've done the poem lots of different ways. I just show you the way that gives you information. But I've left that poem exactly as it was. I've done similar things that you've been shown. You can leave that poem as it is, and you just have to think that those words are different words because they don't mean what you think they do. And you come up with a simple, really too simple solve, and you just think it can't be that. But it can be, as you read it, associated with the words that Forrest Fenn said, and you can absolutely understand why the poem says what it says and why Forrest made the statements. So my souls, my solutions, my methods, whatever you want to call them, are all geared around Forrest telling everybody, including those people that say he wasn't talking to me in the scrapbooks, I never got nothing from Forrest, etc., etc., etc. Yes, you did. Well, everybody got something. Called the Trump election. Yeah, yeah. I think one part of Stormy Daniels was I can't remember now, but she would be proven to be lying or something. Hi, John. You're right. I lost where I was. Basically, you had to use what Forrest said, and that would tell you whether your solve was right or not, and including things like a blind man can't find the chest. Punctuation won't help. Those sort of things. You have to look at your solve realistically and say, well, what did he mean by that? And therefore, I can't use that. I can't, that can't be in the solve. So if you keep going through your solve and you don't understand why the little girl from India can't get closer, or you don't understand why if I told you the home of brown, you go right straight to it. If that is not in any of your solutions, then your solutions can't be correct, because you have to understand it. Why, if Forrest told us the home of brown, you can go right straight to it. And there is a solution for it, and it's really simple, and it's crazy, and it's, out there. But reading the poem and listening to the information, you can absolutely get that simple solve. But then you also get the game of chess, you get the game of canasta, you get the game of Scrabble, you get the game of chase, you get lots of games in the poem. You get a map, a real map, you get a real GPS solve, with information from the book. But you can read the poem. The poem will tell you where to get the information, and the poem will tell you what the information is. So there's two, as it were, pages. The first page says, read this, and then you can turn the page over and it'll say, okay, these are those places, those numbers I was telling you about. GPS would not help you. All right. Not to the spot. That's naughty, that is. But there is a GPS solve in there. And there's also, different maps of, well, there's just different maps. So working out the extra inch could help you understand, how far is too far, if that makes sense. So, or, horseshoe, that sort of information. But that information, the information given by the so-called nookers, is good information. Dressed up like the fox like the hound. So while it doesn't seem like it's good information, it really is good information. You just have to work out what's really being said. That's how I see it. So while it wasn't homophones and stuff like that, there is a possibility to have that sort of solve, which is what I'm trying to get across. You can have all of those solves, including the solve that person was talking about in the book. Hi, Zozo. Zozo, I almost didn't see you, but not close enough. Not close enough. No, there's a bit more information that would help. Yeah, there's, and that's the issue, isn't it? You have to find the information. Forrest gave us a way to find the information, which is, pretty much what I said to David when I, first started talking to him. David, where do you start and where do you finish? What is I was going to say end game then, but looking at the information that Forrest gave, you had to start with at least two things. You had to have a simple, why didn't I think of that solve? And you have to have a difficult but not impossible solve. You had to have those two things when you first started in the chase. And if you didn't, and you just had a chess, then you weren't listening to Forrest, because they can't both be the same thing. Otherwise, it makes Forrest a liar, and I don't think Forrest Fenn was a liar. So, a simple solve that you're going to think, why didn't I think of that? And a difficult but not impossible solve, which, in my opinion, is really difficult, really difficult. But my aim was to try and listen to what Forrest was saying, and then put into practice the information that he was giving all of us, and including those scrapbooks. Don't say he wasn't speaking to you. He spoke to everybody. He said he was going to level the playing field. So just because you didn't listen or take any notice doesn't mean he wasn't speaking to you. He was speaking to everyone. You all had the option to listen. And even if you were speaking to somebody specific in the scrapbooks. He was still speaking to everybody because he was leveling the playing field. So while one person might have thought he was directly speaking to them, everybody was getting the same information. So the way I saw it was, if Forrest was speaking to somebody specific, then I need to listen harder. Because if he's not speaking to me, somebody else must have the right information. Somebody else must have the right information. So therefore, it's a case of finding every possible solve. And I think if Forrest was here, he'd tell you I told him nearly every possible solve. And at one point I felt guilty about, and they weren't long, long emails, but there was a lot of solves in that poem, in my opinion, and they could all be incorrect, and I could be totally wrong, but there was a lot, and it was difficult to know how to be able to trust anyone, because there are names in that poem that you wouldn't believe. There are companies in that poem that you wouldn't believe. There is a whole other world in that poem that when you look at it, you go, no way, can't be. And then, if you factor in the fact that Forrest said, I hope nobody ever finds out, who the real Forrest Fenn is, it's like, well, okay, so who is the person that we see in front of us, and how far can I trust that person if I don't know who the real Forrest Fenn is yet? Because that was in the Lorraine Mills interview. I hope nobody ever finds out goes against, not being an asterisk and being known, and this being a legacy and those sort of things. Because if you want it to be known, then you have to be Forrest Fenn. And that goes also with the, hairs in the chest. What fool did this? It's like, well, we all know, because you wrote a book, well, 3 books, and you did interviews and stuff. So we know. So why would you need, that information will carry on through the years. Maybe not as the internet as we know it, but, AI would probably have a, record of it. Am I missing anybody? No, I wouldn't say he lied at all. X equals GPS. this. Cheers, John. Yep. Give it a thumbs up. Oh, thank you, whoever made it to, not that I'm doing this for subscribers, but somebody made it 100 subscribers. So, that's a milestone for me. I probably thought I'd get 10. So, I appreciate everybody that watches the videos. I appreciate that they thumbs up. I appreciate thumbs down, in the sense if they left a critique as to why, but they don't, they just thumbs down. It doesn't matter if I get more thumbs down than thumbs up. If everybody thumbed up my videos, it doesn't make me correct. It just means that, I'm saying something that people like. And it's not about what is being said. It's about all the effort and everything that went into it and how it came across and those sort of things. That's what you like. You either thumb up a film because you like the film. You don't thumb up a film because you don't agree with what the film was about. Hi, Luli. Good to see you. Still buzzing over those crystals. I have to admit that. I'm not missing anyone. 5 leaf. I'm saying 5 leaf. Yeah, I did do it. I did it. I'm trying to work out how I put the link in chat. So if we do a, I don't think I could put that. I didn't even do that. Look at this. You'll see it now. It's a bit too late. So that was supposed to be at the top. So when you came in, you could see, welcome, take a seat, bring your own food and drink, and it did happen. Well, I haven't got Davey yet, because at the moment, Davey B, if we did it at this time of the night, Davey B would be roughly 6 a.m. in the morning. And if I do it on a work night like tonight is, again, well, the night before I go to work, if you see what I mean, be up at 4:45, and it's now 11 p.m. So if I do it this, then it means I'm going to, be half asleep in the morning. So, oh, too much information there. I don't know if we're able to sleep now. And loads of thoughts going through my head. I don't think we could have a hot tub here. It's still a bit cool, to be fair. If a hot tub there is the same sort of thing that I'm thinking of. Those things that blow bubbles and sit outside and in the nice warm evening air. Yes, John. There's stuff in there that. Yeah, I was looking forward to. Yeah, looking forward to Indiana Jones. Looking not so much at the rest of what you talk about, and that could, the fact that we don't have a queen and now the king is there and stuff like that. Davey's about to wake up. I hope so. Davey, who's still in the Navy, and probably will be for life. Hmm. Don't, Luli. You dashed all my hopes now. Davey's about to wake up. Yeah, we seem to be at that. Davey wakes and I go to sleep. Time, and sometimes if there is a chat going, as I'm about to leave, Davey pops in, and it's not that we don't like talking to each other, but he's on his wake up and I'm on my sleep. So it'll be good that we get. Oh, it's a song, is it? Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't know that. How old is that song? I'm only 28. No, Billy Joel. No, no, definitely not Billy Joel. No, Uptown Girl maybe. That's about as much as I can. Oh, Piano Man maybe, if that's Billy Joel, but not much more than that. Hi, Bill. Nice to see you. Anyway, we'll read you. Elton John, Uptown Girl. Oh, Elton John. Elton John sung it. Oh, you're trying to confuse me now. Billy Joel and Elton John. They both sang it. I can believe Elton John sang it. I can believe Elton John sang it. Not so sure about Billy Joel. Um, for probably obvious reasons. I don't know how old that song is though. So those people who don't believe that Forrest Fenn did something amazing, I don't get, because if it did take 15 years, and I think I'm thinking 1988, something important happened. 1995, he was talking to Douglas about something that was that point of the catalyst that could go from planning to doing or something. Something had to have happened there for them to have that conversation of the car park. And then the rest of the information, me and David keep talking about. We saw a young Forrest. I say young Forrest, a younger Forrest, and then when he came out with Billy the Kid Hound during COVID, he seemed to have aged really quickly compared to who we were used to. So we keep talking about that as a. Hang on a minute. When were these pictures taken? You know, how long ago were they? Then we had the conversation of that book interview. Do I have to share it? That's in the poem. Do I have to share it with my brother? Those sort of questions are in the poem. That almost seems like stage. Do you find yourself doing a loop? That woman's dangerous. Those sort of things that you can read about almost seems staged. So in 2013, I think that one was. I'm thinking, are all these people Chase members? Are they all, part of trying to make this work? But then they all disappeared. Toby went, Sasha went, those sort of people. I didn't know Illinois Ghost and they were gone before I came into the Chase. Oh, thanks. Thank you. I'll take a hint like that every day of the week. Do you need glasses though, Lily? And you've probably got a load of steam in front of you as well, so you probably can't see that well. Billy Joel's from Piano Man says, Billy the Kid was a pain, but he created. Yeah, Billy and Elton together. I didn't want to cause an argument about a song that I don't know. Yeah, I had a solve about Salt Lake as well, Lily. Handcarts and a fort and a nook. Yeah, many solves that were all like, yep, definitely this. Forrest, look, what about this? Never answered me, and I was like, is this bloke real? Like, does he really exist? Or I was hoping that he would say, no, you're totally, wrong about those sort of things, or wow, how did you get that information, or something. But he didn't. I was like, oh. But even when I spoke about Casper, when I first got into the chase, it was like I didn't know the book, I didn't know anything. I was just reading the poem. It was like I didn't even know that they went to Casper or knew Casper, or there was a long ride home, or those sort of things. The Shoshone Casper long ride home stuff, and all I could think was that it was the shape of the mountain, which was like the winged insignia that they have. Could be the only reason that I could think of that Forrest might have been interested in that spot as he flew over. Saw that, I thought, oh, that looks like my stuff. And then, months and months later, I found out that actually they did go to Casper, and it was like, oh, maybe. I'm enjoying what you're saying, John. Are we talking about the dog? Or are we talking about Billy Joel and Willie Nelson? Something like that. You all seem to have more not information, more knowledge, intimate knowledge with some of the things that you're saying. But the world is a crazy place to get entertainment. Absolutely crazy. And I think that was the issue with my trying to do these videos in the first place. So I wrote Forrest an email. I can't remember what was in it now, but basically saying, I was happy with, my solve. Can't really remember what else I put in there. I will stop searching. So I'm not searching now. I'm just, going through the poem with Davy. And it was like, why is everybody being horrible? Why is everybody saying that it's all fake and fraud? And you got Josh Jordan saying in 2013. You got Dave Man from the East saying that it's associated with a man-made structure, which is the cross. I'm thinking, what? How? What? If it's not associated with a man-made structure, that is absolutely a man-made structure. Admittedly, it's only a small man-made structure, but it's a man-made structure. And he's associating his soul with that. And I'm thinking, but that would make Forrest a liar. And plus I'm going to throw myself on that chest and dare you to come and find me. And I'm thinking, well, it wouldn't take, 15 minutes for somebody to find him. There's a bloke over there. I don't know who he is, but he's just thrown himself on that cross. And people are going to say, oh, look, it's Forrest Fenn. So I'm thinking, while I can't say his solve is wrong, because, it's in the poem as a good solution, as it says in the poem. So, but I'm thinking, well, that's not what Forrest said. Forrest said that he was going to, with his last gasping breath, he was going to throw himself on it. And it's like, well, how does that fit into your solve? So I choose to, while seeing it, I choose to steer away from it. And I could be wrong to steer away from it. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't make me correct and Dave wrong. It just means that I have a different thought process. I think Forrest will. Thanks for that statement, Lily. I think he will be kept alive in our imaginations. And I think, in media, he will be kept alive. Seeing Willie Nelson. Billy, you've seen a lot of people, apart from the person that you went to Greece to see, who cancelled on you. Forrest would rant about Saul's tyranny. See, I didn't know that. Trying to say Willie. Well, I saw Willie in that around that table. I saw more than just Willie, and to me, I was laughing. Had to laugh. If nobody was seeing something in that picture, it was funny. Um, Trying to catch up with what I'm saying and talking here. So you say like really personal. I know these people stuff, and it's crazy. So it's well, it's funny that you say that because it's hard to know whether Shy Guy's a goodie or a baddie now because he went from doing some bad thing to some good things, and that film was like a load of shorts. The Ballad of Buster something or other. I don't know if that's really Forrest or not, but he said some interesting things in that video. He's laughing his head off. Tracking the Jack Sleuth my part. Yeah, you see, Bill, you look like a director who is dressing himself down to be, something else. Because when you're in Greece, you had a pattern look about you with your sunglasses and everything, and the way you were dressed was not like you couldn't rub two cents together. So it was like weird to see you looking like that, and then when you come back, almost a different person. Or just Brian Stiffing dog. Yep, old Tucker. All needs is more. So that's very personal. Could 250 playing? Well, me and Dave were talking about 265 coins and the $17 a square inch and gold too and all sorts of things the other day. And then I wonder, how do you know that? That Willie will smoke years under the table. So Forrest talked about a dog that was buried. Don't remember it being called Jack. By the wall. I'm sure it was by the wall. And that was, I had Souls into Souk. A Soul into Souk. The Red River. That church, can't remember what that was. I had lots of different souls that were all, the foundation. The 111, one soul. Had a soul at the top of Montana and Rainbow something or other. Something Cabin Creek Cabin, can't remember. But lots of different souls because I tried not to go onto the internet and look for a warm waters hole. I tried to find a warm waters hole that the poem told me about, which is the feeling that I got that Forrest was trying to tell us. Look, you have to find it. You have to find that first. You can't choose one. You have to really know it. Really know it. And the only way I was going to know it is in, whatever words Forrest used. That's how I saw it. Which front yard? See, that's another thing about Texas, the John Connolly and that road that he was on, and the Rocky Mountains, and what is that place called? I can't remember what that place called. Where there's flat land, some water. Can't remember what it's called. Has a name, and a 9 mile hole, and all sorts of things. The cow. Bill, I don't disagree with you. Self Lauren. I used to buy them t-shirts, Ralph Lauren t-shirts. When I was younger, when I was not as careful with my money as I need to be nowadays. Well, I have to admit that that word Jack, at some point in the chase, seemed to get me into trouble. And, I don't know if I wish I'd never done it or not. So I basically used the word Jack and wrote a story about this Jack, about what I thought was happening, saving his money for a rainy day. Jack had a bad chest, like a counterfeit chest, not a real chest. And, made this story up about the synonyms that I found while looking at the chase, and then I can't remember who was talking back to me, but like, ooh, I think I said the wrong thing here. Yeah, and it was more like something like, I know who you are, I know your followers, blah blah blah. I'm like, there's only me. I have no followers. I didn't have a YouTube channel. There's like me and my wife, and that's it. So, oh, and I've had some weird conversations with people who I thought was, I was helping them and discussing their souls. And when I think back, it's like, well, maybe they're trying to tell me something, and I thought I was helping them, which is crazy. Yeah, so Forrest said that it was an androgynous name, and Jackie, I'd say that was androgynous. So I was not too, phased by the fact that there was somebody called Jack, because that's a girl's name and a boy's name. But then so is Bill and Billy. That is a girl and a boy's name. Now I was thinking of Kirkland there when you said Chris. Chris, there is a Chris Kirkland in the poem, so I was thinking maybe he's related to our mate Tim. Well, there are other Chris's like Chris Kringle and that. Jackie's not a girl's name here. Jackie, yes, right. Oh, all right then. Sorry. So you would never call over there? You never call a girl Jack? Oh, we would, because we're lazy. We're lazy. What about Billy and Bill? Would you call a girl Bill? Would you just call her Billy? My brother's name is Chris. Yeah, but that's Chris with a CH. Look for a K, Chris. Billie Jean King. Yeah, yeah. See, Billy. Yeah, but would you call her Bill, or would you call her Billy? Billie Holiday. Yeah, I'm agreeing that Billy's a girl's name. I am absolutely agreeing that it's an androgynous name. Would you call a girl Bill? According to Lula, you wouldn't call a Jackie Jack. You call her Jackie. We would just call her Jack because it's short for Jackie. Because we live in a woke society now. Bill, yes, Bill. I agree. There are lots of Billies. There are lots of Billies. And Billy Joe. Billy Joe. I thought we were going to talk about Billy Joel again. Billy, yes, for girl, not girl, Bill. Unless it's a woke world now, so could have been. Bill was talking about Indy 5 being a woke film, so you never know. Is Willie a Billy as well? Willie, what was the name of that dog that went home? That movie, that program. What was that dog? There's a song about it. Who knows that? Who knows that? That program that I'm talking about. Not Lassie. Please don't say Lassie. Go work. Go. I can't get my head around this world nowadays, so I think I'm going to have to be a hermit and hide away because um, I've got myself in trouble the other day by calling a. I thought she was a female, so I called her her. She said she wanted to be known as a he, and I got into trouble for that because Should be a bit more sensitive, but I didn't know. If they told me his name, if they told me his name was Noah, then I may have understood that, he was a a person who wants to be known as male. It's hard to get my head around you know, how somebody's supposed to know that you want to be called something else. But I got myself into trouble for that. So this woke world, I might have to hide away. Jack. No? Yeah, but you will do, because we live in a woke world now. So these people will claim themselves to be the Bill or the Jack, or Bill and his dog Jack, the father and son team. Billy Jack. Well, after a few Jack Daniels, you might be calling him Jack. Benji. Is it Benji? No, I know the one you talk about, but it could be. There was a song about the dog going home or doing something. I can't remember. That's going to bug me now. I remember it now. You don't F with Billy Jack. No, you don't F with Billy, and you don't F with Jack separately either. So that's all good. One thing that we have been talking about, me and Davey, is the heritage auction that is in the poem, including the Tesoro Salgado. I can't remember how that went, and the lawyer that's in there that was predicted in the poem, and those sort of things. Is those people that made bids, they have not received the product yet, as far as we know. And somebody was mentioned as the owner of the olive jar. No, I don't even know. I've seen a Jack Reacher. Does that count? Them are good movies. Who is Billy Jack? Who played Billy Jack? Davey's in bed, I should think. It's if it's 25 past 11 here, it could be his wake up time now. It could be 25 past 6 there. Is Davey the last tin soldier? Or is Billy Jack the last tin soldier? I'd name a dog show Laddie and pitch it. I'm too young for 70s movies. If he wasn't Clint Eastwood or someone like that, then I don't know. Or John Wayne. Billy Jack was the name of the film. Oh, right. So there's a David Carradine type of bloke. I remember him. And Bruce Lee doing his Hornet, was it? Right, I'm going to have to, tomorrow, look at a Billy Jack movie. Was he more kick-ass than Dirty Harry? That is the question. All right. Ooh. So more like a Chuck Norris type person. I can't say as I've seen. Ah, no, Seagal. Who played Billy Jack? Or would I not know him? Yeah, Dirty Harry. Feel lucky, punk? I know what you're thinking. Dirty Harry rules or Clint Eastwood rules? Or Forrest rules? Forrest had a lot of rules. Them were important, them rules. 109 rules, weren't it? You all seem that was filmed in the film. I missed that. Hi, Asterix. Sorry, I didn't see. You all seem to know Billy Jack anyway. I've never seen a Billy Jack movie. And I don't even know that person. Tom. Tom Laughlin? Laughlin? Don't know how that is. Laughlin? Laughlin? Laughlin, I suppose, was Billy Jack. I'll have to look up Billy Jack and I'll have to compare him to Clint. Definitely have to compare him to Clint. Is Billy Jack in the poem? It'd be easier if I just looked and saw him there. All right. Oh, he sounds more like a Charles Bronson. In what was that called? The Vigilante. Homework. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I suppose if I was looking for that, it would be something that I've never looked for before. I can't see. Oh, I don't know. You never know with Forrest. There's a Indiana Jones movie in there. There's a Taylor Swift family tree in there. There's all sorts of stuff in that poem. Just crazy stuff. That's my Scotty reference, to be fair. Scott Taylor? No, Scott. I can't remember now. Lassie was a dog show. Yeah. Lassie, I know, but it wasn't. It was the. Oh man, it's on the top of my tip of my tongue. It was a little sort of like I don't know Yorkshire Terrier type dog. The Long Way Home. I can't remember what it was. There was a song anyway about the dog. Good. Mario Road Remembrance. Pay attention to the quotes and Jack mentioning quotes. Oh, read Remembrance. I did read Remembrance. Read it again. I remember even the family doing the stuff that they did in the special bit. Create mistakes, and I have no idea what that is. Billy Jack. I'm a huge Clint fan. I did every movie kid. Yeah, I have to admit, growing up, John Wayne was first. It didn't matter how old he got, he still, was a presence on the screen. I think the same with Clint Eastwood. When John Wayne was gone, I think Clint Eastwood sort of like for me took over. And even when he got older, he's still kicking ass. Get off my lawn. I was told that once when I went to Wyoming. Get off my land. I was like, what? How is it your land? It's a mountain. Private land, boy. Yeah, but it's a mountain. I'm on a road. It's private. I have to get off. Go back down the way you came. I was like, I'm nearly at the top. How am I supposed to get to the top of a mountain if this is private? Surely, there's people on the top of this mountain that got to the top of this mountain. So, yeah, you have to go the other way from the other side. I was like, no way. Taking the mickey. But, when you have guns and stuff like that, you just sort of like go, okay, then how do I get down the mountain and how do I get to the other side? And he made it sound like it was just down the road. Like, to me, just down the road is like a mile. Here's just down the road is more like 10 miles. You have to go down Casper Mountain, turn right, and then you go a long way down the road, and on the right there's this wheel, and then this track up the mountain again, and then on the other side you get to the other side. It's like, what? And I was walking. I had a bad trip to America. Bad trip. Lost all my stuff. It was like, no, this is not going the way that I wanted to. I should have been on the side of Crimson Park or something, and I was on this end of it. I wanted to be on the other side of it, and I never got there in the end. It was too far. You have to get off the mountain by 6 o'clock. I was like, well, if I don't start going down, I ain't going to get off the mountain. I'm going to be stuck on here while it's supposed to be shut. And I don't know America, and I don't know if there's bears or mountain lions and all sorts of stuff there. So I thought you might as well just go back to your hotel room. Learn a lesson from this. But like I said, I did give some food and drink to a young lady that was crying in the airport. So, sometimes maybe I was meant to go there just to do that, to make somebody feel like they were appreciated and needed and were not alone. If you Google it, there is a Billy Jack sequence that runs with it. Oh, I missed the first bit. I love that song. Focus on the quoted words. But you talk like you all know stuff. Who's who in the zoo? You should watch Billy Jack. I'm going to watch Billy Jack. I'm going to watch it. And that's the title of it, Billy Jack. Never heard of it though. Yeah, I'm in Wyoming for summer. All the people here have my amazing. Yeah, it's a big place with not much there, but those people were. Hi, Amy. Good to read you. Yeah, while they were friendly, they were, and very pleasant. They were, not kidding around. Get off, get off my land. Um, Go ahead, and I think. Yes, yes, I got that, Bill, but I didn't get Billy Jack from that. Treasure they will see, we're not called, but we'll peace. Seeing my red and support. So you want to be a bit French, eh? Hi, Rob. How you doing? I hope you don't mind me calling you Rob. I'll call you Robert then, just in case. I don't want a fist come through the camera and smack me. Good to see you in chat. To be fair, I was only going to be on for 10 minutes to um, tell you that Paul said yes. So those people that come in afterwards, Paul said yes. He's going to do it. So I'm going to try and work something out for the Friday, but I need to get hold of Davey B because, like I say, I'm in the middle. Davey B's raced ahead in front of me with regard to the next day. He's already into the next day, and you poor people are still, dragging up the rear, 7 or 8 hours or 6 hours behind me. So Davey's out in front, by a mile. Nearly 7 hours into the new day. We're just trying to catch up. I like these songs' messages. We need way more peace in the world. Yes, I think Imagine is a good song for the chase. I think that should be the chase theme tune. Imagine all the people living life in peace. That'd be a great song. As long as you don't mind John Lennon, who is, English and then went over to America and betrayed us all. But 4 movies? Wow. And I don't even know that I know any of them. I agree. Well, Zozo's agreeing with something, but I'm not sure what he's agreeing with. Is that Imagine? Yeah, say that. Let's all go for John Lennon. Imagine all the people. Yeah, he's a bit like Adam and the Ants. Stand and deliver your money or your wife or life. Yeah, but wasn't Forrest a dreamer? According to what we're reading, a daydreamer, walking in the rain, chasing after rainbows I may never find again. Those sort of daydreamers. Yeah, we could do with people like that. I'm thinking, yeah, Imagine, because it's more important than knowledge. Apparently, Double Blazes University. It wouldn't be the Kepler University, would it? If he who. Yes, I was at work. I was at work about a week ago, and a gentleman who has known me for probably, working at the same place, I've probably known him for about 4 years, came up to me and said, "I'm going to start calling you Mario from now on." And I was like, "What? What?" He said, "Yeah, I'm going to call you Mario from now on." I said, "Well, that's good because that's my name." He says, "No, it's not." I said, "Yeah, it is." He says, "No, it's not." I said, "I know what my name is. It's definitely Mario." He says, "Prove it." And we normally like have a, I can't remember what they're called, but the badge. lanyard with a card on, but it was all so old that you couldn't see nothing. And the indoor truck that I was on has my name on it. But I hadn't thought of that at the time, and I said, well, "Why? What were you calling me for? A swear word? You called me a bad thing before." He says, "No, no, no, no." He says, "No." I said, "Well, why are you all of a sudden going to start calling me Mario if you weren't calling me Mario before, considering that's my name?" And he says, "Because you keep driving around going woohoo, and you remind me of Super Mario." Yeah, that's not why I go woohoo, but Mario is really my name. Anyway, at that point, I realised that my name was on my truck. I said, "You see that there? That's me, Mario." So yeah, my name is really Mario. I don't go by any other name. I'm not hiding behind any other avatar or anything. But it's like, you're going to call me Mario. That's my name. What were you calling me before? So I am Mario. Really, really, really. Yes, Adam and the Ants, the Stand and Deliver. Q6 Dreamer. Mario's a big name in America right now. Mario is in Mario, the name Mario, or Mario as in Super Mario because of the film. Because I used to do inductions, and no, not Marion. Is that an androgynous name? Marion needs a nice toupee. Well, what I was going to do is just grab my hair long at the sides and then put a hat on, and nobody would ever know. I do wear one of those hats at work. It's actually a type of baseball hat, and he said it's because of my tash as well. I was like, "Oh, cheers!" But my name really is Mario, and it's like, what were you calling me before? If you're going to call me Mario now, what were you calling me before? Yes, it is. Yes, Marion is John Wayne's name, wasn't it, or somebody like that? Yes, I'm not saying that it's not, and I have no idea what that is. Demes? Don't know. Don't know what that is. Double Blazes University. You will have to enlighten me on that one. Does it have to be a nice toupee? Can't it just be a normal toupee? Got a little M on there. No, Marion is a boy's name. I think it was John Wayne that was called Marion. I could be wrong. Ah, that's better, Zozo. I was going to say, what's a lapel? The land surrounding us. Aha. Yes. Now I understand the context of that. Thank you. I think you're trying to tell me something. Tell me something, but I'm not sure what it is, Lily. Hey, Marianne, what's your game? Can anybody play? Marianne, Marianne, Marianne. She's in Spider-Man. That was another, or is that Mary Jane? No, that was Mary Jane. Mary Jane is another synonym, I think. I don't think it's Marianne. It's another synonym. One of the words that Forrest gave us. Marion. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure the spelling of. I'm sure it was John Wayne that was Marion. There was somebody called Marion anyway, who was a male, and changed it. You are giving me warm fuzzies. Thank you very much. And telling me that you're having warm, a warm time at the moment is giving me even more warm fuzzies. My daughter was going to be called Marianne, and we settled for Anna Louise in the end. Just to name her after my mother. So Marianne. It's true. Thank you, Luli. It is true that you are nice. That is a true statement. You are nice. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was starting to wonder if I got the wrong person then, because it's like, yep, I'm sure he was, and then I was like, not sure. Yeah, Clovis Cash was pretty high on the list of achievements. I think that was on my mind with regard to Forrest Fenn. I mean, that is mind blowing, to be fair. And the information, not just the information, but the ability to understand what looks like just a piece of flint. What, so much going on there, then flakes and stuff, and double sided, single sided, how old and those sort of things, like crazy, crazy. Gilligan's Island, I wonder when that would come up. I wonder when Gilligan's Island would come up. Why was it cancelled? Yep, I agree totally. Sunburns suck. You need a hat. You need to protect your head. It was big shock, Never wore a hat. Always out in the sun. Never worried about burning at all, ever. Ever, 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 ever. And then went out one day and ow. I was losing my hair. When you live with yourself and you comb your hair every day, you don't realise that there's not as much there as there used to be. And you carry on combing it like there's, still a lock of hair there. And there isn't. And then the sun reminds you that you have no protection on your head. You need to wear a hat. It really hurts. Yeah, my top has thinned. Definitely thinned. Not, it used to bother me, a small amount, not a large amount, but now it doesn't bother me at all. I get, attention because of it, slap it, but often get the odd kiss as well. Did they drive off a cliff together, DBU? Well, I don't know. Did we see them drive off a cliff? I can't remember if we saw it or whether it was just, insinuated. So did we agree that Imagine was going to be the chase song? Ah, many hats. What is that trying to say? Yeah, I have many hats. Most of them are work related. Put a hat on to be really warm in the winter. Actually, I wish I had it. I might do it next time as a joke. So I don't know if you've seen them, but they have like a beard and a moustache that you can put on to keep your face warm, and then a hair hat, which is just like freaky stuff, like a mop but black. So that keeps me warm in winter, and then I just have like baseball caps in summer. And people keep telling me to put it the right way around because I turn it around sometimes when it gets too hot. You're not 16 now, Mario. But you hat on properly. Okay. So we didn't talk much about Forrest Fenn, which is going to be 10 minutes worth of this, and I think I've been here like 10 hours. But I do appreciate everybody turning up. Now, what I'll put on the header or whatever it's called is if you wish to know of any information that may or may not have been found in the poem. So you have something that you want to know, you can ask by all means. And I will either remember or not remember if I found that information. It's more likely that I will remember that I found it, but if it's too telling, then I probably won't remember. I can assure you there is a lot of information, and that has time, days, dates, those sort of things, and events, which is crazy when you think about it. There's only 166, 167, 66 words, depending how you read it. Ah, the Emerald Ring. Yes. Yes, the emerald. People say they can't find it. I think I did a video with all of the um, treasures, like a circle of them: the diamonds, the emeralds, the rubies, Ceylon sapphires, blah blah blah, mirrors and stuff in the poem. The emerald ring. Does did. Stay in the UK. There is a very, 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 very high probability of a yes for that answer. But I am not quoting that as a fact. I'm just saying that there is those many varies, high probability. Yeah, like I say, this is not really the live that we were talking about, but thanks, Lily. I'm trying, not Davy B. Paul suggested that we go live. So, Paul's quite used to going live, and he talks about his soul and those things. So I do want to go live, but I really want people to try and understand. I don't say that I am an authority on anything, but you know my understanding is Forrest said there was a simple solve and there was a difficult but not impossible solve. So that everybody that's claiming that they found the chest and that the family are bad people and they're doing wrong by them, it's like, well, there must be more than just a chest because of the information that Forrest gave. There must be. So if you claim to have found the chest, then you're claiming to have found a smaller part of what this was about. And if you're saying there's something more, then you're saying that you haven't solved the poem. So what is it that people are actually claiming, and can they confirm that the information that Forrest gave with regard to, beginning where warm water's halt, you can't get past first two clues, the little girl from India can't get past closer, can't get closer than the first two clues. The Soldier of Homer Brown, those sort of things, difficult but not impossible. If they are separate things and not talking about the same item, then you have to admit that, okay, maybe you did find a chest, but there is something else. You can't lump those two statements and those other statements together because they don't work together. You can't have a simple solve that people think, why didn't I think of that? Along with it's difficult but not impossible solve. And I've tried those synonyms and they don't work, so you can't. It's either a simple solve, why didn't I think of it, or it's a difficult but not impossible solve, or it's both of them. You have to understand both of them. Or there is other stuff like, I wish I could have lived to do the things I was attributed to. The what is in that statement. So those sort of things, as a find a solver person, what is it that people are claiming that they have? And can they please stop saying that, the Fenn family are ne'er-do-wells? Oh, he paid all expenses for the kid. She needs a driver. There's a bottleneck. Well, yeah, there is a. So I look at it as though it's all talk about the same thing, and if you were comfortable, you would know where you are, and you wouldn't worry about going anywhere else. So that's why you have to get in and get out. Don't mess about. Just get in, get out, get it done. Those sort of things. The way I see it is, if you understood the warm waters, you would understand that you would look up to see the blaze and then look quickly down. But Terry Scout with Marvel gaze, take the chest and go in peace. Possibly understand all of that. Do, do, do. It's both. I wish I could have hid the treasure I was attributed to. Hmm. I think it was diabolical when he did that. I think he did something diabolical, and you would either laugh or cry when you, because you're like, oh no, I've been. In a way, I suppose you could say it was a. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this. That is why Jackie Boy says, "Is this the chest?" That's why that statement was made. Had to be made. Is this the chest? This one was in the front of the chase. Is this the chest? Is it this? So I think that's why the statement was made, because Forrest is a little diabolical. So, same one. Yeah, I think it was more. I wish I could have lived to. Yeah, but that's almost. I don't know. Depending which way you read that, it's like saying he never hid one at all. Like Hulk smash that. Yes, do it, do it. I dare you. Oh, there isn't one. How do I smash the light? Can't I smash my own light button? Oh no. Nor the blind man. Yeah, no. Could not pass the circle. No, nor the blind man. No. Hmm. No. It's not the treasure you want you to find. Well, you see, I initially was seeking a treasure, and then I was trying to seek the answer. I was like, no, this man, did something. He didn't just do this. Nobody, I don't care who they are, nobody in their right mind spends 15 years writing a poem to just stick £1 million treasure chest out in the Rocky Mountains and saying no one's going to stumble on this. No, no, no. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And, if you're only worth, 6 million, 7 million, you don't stick $1 million of that out in the Rocky Mountains unless there's something else. But, you have all the other information to say there's more to this. So I went from, if I found this, it would mean that I could stop work, and my life would be different, to no, this poem has to be solved, so there has to be a way. And then, that was the aim. I wasn't necessarily, although I still wanted to be, well off and retire, because I'm not, as fit as I used to be. And, Davy B isn't as self sufficient as me, so, he's probably more likely to want it to be just a go find the chest and do that. But it was more. It was definitely more. And I think it deserves to be known as more. Now, the only thing is, Forrest says don't tell, but there was two, at the least there was two options. Simple and difficult, but not impossible. So at the least there was two things that you could do. But, it could be more. Davey is a tough cookie. Davey is a tough cookie. Going through quite a bit, and a smart cookie. The don't underestimate Davey. He had some. Dave has a knack of saying the right thing, even if he doesn't know he's saying the right thing. But he's still expecting something from left field, but he's a sharp mind. He does very well, considering he's only got a phone to work with, and not a house, and those sort of things that we take for granted. Fires was Richie's, the key was Rusty Ford, and Rusty Ford. Double Blazes. That sounds very much like Bill. Bill. How many names have you got? Yeah, that. Yeah. So when I talk to him, it's like, what's that I can hear, Davey? Like all the different birds and that are out there. And then he starts talking about snakes and stuff. I'm like, no, you're right then. because the views that he shows us are amazing. It's like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind going there. And then he talks about the crazy animals that they have over there. I'm like, no, we don't have them sort of animals over here. So I wouldn't last 2 seconds. Same with America. We don't have poisonous snakes and spiders and all those weird, big scary bees and hornets and whatever that you have over there. Those places. Or large kangaroos that box the crap out of you if you're not careful. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that, John. He's a good man, Davies. There's quite a few good men in this chase, and ladies. It's hard to know what to say now. And um, and you have a gender before somebody else. So I won't be called a they or a them or Amy Gwynn says all right, but I don't know what that is. All right, at the back. Uh, well, two, yeah. So, in my mind, there's goal two, and there's also chase two. Um, hmm. Well, I don't know how to take that, but yeah, he still has. He still has this one. Are you talking about Davey, who has a problem with that? Trying to read the chat, and some of this stuff is like, what? And some of it is like, oh, I don't know how to answer that. So I think I've probably kept you away from whatever you were doing long enough. Davey hasn't woke up, so maybe I should have shouted louder. See if he did. He probably doesn't even subscribe to me. He probably doesn't even know I'm live. I'm sure he would have done, but I've got to get in touch with Davey anyway. Like I say, the issue is, he's asleep, I'm awake, he's asleep, and then try and find a middle ground. And the best time to do it is normally when I'm off work, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, working weekends is a bit of a bind. Trying to get in touch with my sister as well at the moment, to be fair. She lives in Oklahoma, which is not too far away from Texas, and then not too far away from the search states. And she did ask me to go over, but it's like, can't afford it. She said she'd pay, and I'm like, well, yeah, but still got to be at work. 4 a.m. for Davey. Well, no, it's more like 7 a.m. for Davey. As I was saying, I'm sort of in the middle of the crazy British, I don't know, plundered, whatever word you want to call it. But at the same time that the Declaration of Independence, the same year, Cook was in Australia, trying to have a go at that country as well. So, I don't know. It seems that I'm in the middle of the old England, the England that tried to be in both of those countries, while they're still part of it now, but Australia, not America. The 8 hours to, where would it be? 8 hours possibly towards the west coast of America from where I am now. So at the moment I'm in the new day. I'm a minute into the new day. So at the moment I'm a minute into the new day. That means that Davy B should be at 7 a.m. or 8, depending on the daylight saving hours, however that works. So for Davey, it would be about 7, 8-ish. And for you alls, will be about 4 p.m. And that will be going like 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. depending if you're on the East Coast or the West Coast. Peggy told us what it was. It was indicating down South Fork Canyon in the hill, like Forrest, northeast direction from the home of David Jennings Brown. So, Robert, you think that that's Bill as well? End of all this, all countries will be free for the first time. Woohoo! Yep, amen to that. I like the sound of that. 6 p.m. So you are 6 hours behind me. So you must be roughly in the middle. Roughly. I think there's probably David's 13 hours ahead of me. I think 5 p.m. here. So at 13 hours. 13? Is that possible? Go the other way, it's easier. If he's 13 hours ahead, go the other way and then it'll only be 11. Just be silly. So 5 p.m. here, 5 p.m. there. If it's 5 p.m. there, then go back. No, you have to go forwards, don't you? Because he's a day ahead. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Yep. So again, that's roughly the 7 hours or the 8 hours in the middle. So if it's 7 hours, if it's 7 o'clock for him there, depending on daylight savings, that's like that 14 hours possible difference with me in the middle. So if Davey's 13 hours ahead, if it's 5 p.m. for you there, you are 12 o'clock. 5 p.m., 7 behind. 7 behind. So Davey, oh, hang on, that's weird because Davey's 7 in front, you're 7 behind, that makes 14. You're biased. Now. We're all biased. That was possibly the point of the confirmation bias video. There must have been something in there that was meant for us all. You know, it's going to be hard to have a community solve because we can't get past our own bias. So I had to throw my bias out the window because I sent Forrest a lot of solves saying it's this one, it's this one, it's this one, it's this one, it's this one. And I had to look at it and go, well, Forrest said, if I told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. So then I had to stop because in my solve that had a home of Brown, like Craig Brown or whatever those Browns that I used, if I used that as my home of Brown, I couldn't go straight to the end solve because from there I went, it's no place for the mix. I went to another place and it was there. I went to another place and another place and another place. And that meant I wasn't going straight to it. So I had to have a solve that was right straight to it. I had to have a solve that was right straight to it. If you don't have a solve, if I told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. It's hard to believe that solve can be correct. But then in that, I had to work out the fact that he said there would be a simple solve that I thought, oh, why didn't I think of that? And there had to be a difficult but not impossible solve. And that's why I ended up doing all those things that I did in the poem. Playing different games, playing chase with Forrest, playing chess, having a full house with the jack as 10 of hearts, Scrabble, lottery, Powerball. I still didn't get that ticket. I did ask for someone to buy me it. So before time that was. So there was a lottery ticket and I asked for it to be, somebody to buy me one. And it was at 1.9 billion then. But obviously nobody bought me it and sent me it because I'm still not rich. Is there a toll for a poll on attention? Ah, Davey, how are you doing, brother? 7 a.m. here, mate. I just woke my ears burning. Yeah, so you should. I was going to shout really loud, you know what I mean? But then I thought, well, the kangaroos might be there as well, so better not. Don't upset them. He's definitely a day ahead. He's ahead in most things, to be fair. And as always, I want to say, Davey B turns up, and I might have to go because I'm up in 4 hours and a bit. So all good. Davey, we're going to do this the live show with Paul, and we have to work out which would be the best time to do it with regard to you and us. Now, obviously, we're in the same time zone, so we should be all right. So we just have to try and work out. So if you want to, pop up a few suggestions on our Zoom thing or email or whatever, of what would be the best. Now, David, Paul normally likes to drink on a Friday night, so it's probably going to be a Friday. But if it's a Friday night, then you're going to be sleeping. So, would you rather be up late or up early? If you understand what I mean, would you rather stay up late and do a Zoom, or would you rather get up early and do a Zoom? Have a think about those things. If you can read my previous post, let me know. I can't read that one. You are close, John. Yes, most chapters end with a square. Thought bullet points were out. Forrest said, I've finished the page with a picture or something. I wondered about them squares. I ended up doing a grid. And thinking of a GPS and all sorts of things like that. And, playing chess, going not far but too far to walk and stuff. If Forrest had never said a word and put this out, it would never, ever, 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 ever get solved. Ever. Ever. Forrest never said a word and just look, here we go. It wouldn't get solved. And that's not saying, that, I have the correct solve. That's saying it's difficult. It really is for all of us because we all disagree. So it has to be difficult. And that's with information that Forrest gave us. And I know some people say, yeah, but he's leading us away. No, I don't think so. I think every bit of information was to, as he said, aid the finder and not the seeker, which it says in the poem. The information given almost seemed to contradict itself in most places. But then Forrest gave us words that didn't make sense. Like Jackie Kennedy was easy. It's like, no, that doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. So, like tenacity for, having a girl like Peggy and all those other words we use. Those were not mistakes. I don't know how you put it. Those were, in my opinion, hints as to, look, words don't mean what you think they do. So he gave us those words, and then because we weren't getting it, he come up straight out and said it. They don't mean what you think they do, and nothing is as it seems, and etc., etc., etc. Yes, that's the whole point. That's what I was saying, John Titter, about the imagination, and that's what I've been saying to Dave as well. Whilst having the knowledge, the imagination then becomes more important. And it's a crazy statement to make. Imagination is more important than knowledge. But then, even in somebody's soul, those sort of things you have to take into account. I couldn't, if I had a solve and then I put all those things into it and I looked at it and I went, oh, crap. That doesn't make sense with that. That doesn't make sense with that. So it was like another one, another one, another one. And yet they were all, I had a solve that said mail a coin. To me, that could have ended the chase. Mail a coin to Forrest. But then it's like, well, what's that got to do with, can't get past the first two clues and blah, 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 blah. So while it's a good solve, a great solve, how does that become a simple solve or a difficult but not impossible solve? Magic bullet. I thought you guys had changed the kid's life. Somebody asked me when did I meet Forrest, and I've only ever met Forrest in the poem. I can't remember meeting Forrest at any other time. Now, I know Davey says, he remembers having that chest, and it made his arms ache. I don't pretend to understand those sort of statements, but, I do believe that they could be real. So, I don't know how quadruplet. Yes, who makes up a word like that? So there was one thing for us. You see, and thanks, John. That says it better than what I thought. Forrest, what was I saying to David? Forrest could sell nothing and make it seem like it was the best thing. You could say, look, here is nothing. I want you to give me some money for it. No, it's just nothing. And Forrest could convince you to do that. So, the best thing that happened to me was going to the US, all my stuff going to Holland or wherever it bloody went to. Tripping over the big pavements that you have there, cutting out my hand. I still have the scar. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see it. Those. The had a bag in my hand. I went. I'm thinking, oh no, the animals are going to come and get me because I'm bleeding. So I had a little bag, like a whole, just a little bag thing. And when I tripped, I couldn't stop myself and Forrest went down. And I didn't know about how you get taxis there. It was in the middle of nowhere. I got to the airport. There was nothing there. Casper Airport. It's like, are you having a laugh? It's tiny. There was a plane in there, a tiny jet plane type thing, and a bull. It's a bull, yeah. One person doing the cleaning, and nobody behind the desk or anything. And I'm thinking, what? This is supposed to be America. This is supposed to be like, I was expecting a big, massive airport. And then I went outside, looked for a taxi or a bus or something. There's nothing. Absolutely not a car. I'm thinking, what? This is not going to be good. But I know things happened. I got to where I was supposed to be, and then thought, Mario, even if you found it, how are you going to get it home? And that was it. That was my journey of, you know what, you better listen to Forrest because there is no way what you're doing is right. Can't be. People have been doing this for 8-9 years. Professional people. And, they've gone boots on the ground. They've done all these, things. What are the things that haven't been done? And I thought, well, listen to Forrest. Forrest said the best way to solve my poem, and then he gave ways to do it. So let's have a look at what he said. And that was my influence. There had to be a way, and it had to be in the words that Forrest used. So maybe listen good. So yeah, influence. And there's plenty of influences in there. Influencers. And, I didn't discount K-Pro and, those people that are supposed to be bad. Even if they are bad, they still had good information. With AGK gone and Sasha gone, no scrapbooks. And, those were, even though sometimes I didn't agree with what, Sasha was saying, her way of reading the scrapbooks was amazing. Like the vibe she was getting and, how she explained it. Cool. Forrest gave me an education. Yes, I've learnt so much. And who was that, JT? Yes, the force is strong in this one, Davey. Yeah, a great man. And it doesn't matter, people saying that he's not who he says he was and blah, blah. He said, look, embellishment. He gave us, you don't have to tell all the truth, etc., etc., etc. So, I liken to hi, Money 618. I liken it to you're trying to get a surprise birthday party going or a surprise party of some sort, and sometimes it looks like you're doing bad things, but you're not. You're trying to do a good thing, but it just looks bad from the outside, from them looking at you, on the phone, sneaking away, coming home late, doing, it looks bad, but, it's for the right reason. And you have to sometimes possibly look like you're doing the wrong thing in order to create, a good moment. So I liken it to that. It may seem bad, but I don't think it's as bad as you portray it. And that's if you're not all in on it. Oh, I've just got a notification. Or is that somebody making a comment about my own video? Mary, you going live? Oh, am I? Oh, crazy. Yeah, I think it's morning for me now, so I'm going to have to go. Sorry, David B. It's not because you've turned up, honestly. 5:16 in the Rocky Mountains. Thunder and lightning. We've had a good day today. Touch wood, it's a good day tomorrow. I'm not wearing the woolly hat anymore, so that's good. Eventually, I think you're talking to Amy there. You'll find out eventually. And who was that? GT Solver. Hello, and everyone. Read the last ones. So, Davey, have a think about when you would be available. And then I'm going to try. Ooh, lightning. I'm going to try and work out how to invite. Blimey, I've been going for nearly 2 hours. It's going to be 10 minutes, this was. 10 minutes. I probably won't get up tomorrow for work now. Or today for work. I'm going to try and work out. Or if somebody knows how to do it, put it in the comments. Say, look, Mary, if you need to post a link to get somebody to come in onto your live, this is what you do. So it might be that I have to go onto Zoom. Go on Zoom and then post a link. Go into Zoom, but then go live on YouTube. Maybe. Now, that was another thing. I don't know if I've already said that. I think I have. I did loads of videos and I haven't put them out. But when I go maybe baby, that's maybe head. So baby is a synonym of head. So, maybe think about Forrest head. It's not written down anywhere. It's not on my computer. It's in my rainbow, or it's in my whatever head means. So, or it's just in his head, and he's talking about other stuff. And I've still yet to find out. Am I right about the pad in his pocket? Play to me at the banquet table of history. Has that happened? Well, I didn't know that. Oh, horse is coming. Is my horse coming last, or is it still running? My horse is probably still running. It's probably still in the stalls. Something like that. No, I ain't going out there yet. It's raining. Or it's lightning. So I thank you for attending. I hope you brought your own food and drink, because there's no food and drink here. And I was going to say you don't have to go home, but you're probably already home. You don't have to go home, but you have to leave here. You're probably already home. It's been smoky from the Canadian fires in Canada. Thought it was all snow up there. Thought it was really cold. Just says what I know. Got no chance of falling. Of course you can. Of course you can. Today is a collector's day. Yeah, they changed Smarties. They were better with those little, I don't know if you have Smarties, but they used to have those like bottle cap things with the letter on. They don't have them anymore, which is a bit sad. It's all this cardboard stuff now instead of plastic. Can't have those cardboard, but you think they could write a letter on a piece of cardboard? So I've had no scary questions, which is good. But if you do think of anything that you want to ask, I'm quite open to telling you, some of the things that are found in the poem. Checking of new work, mate. Fit around you. You shape. Okay, right. Okay. Uh, okay. I'll see what Paul says. If it is going to be a Friday night, then I'd rather not be up too late. Thanks, Amy. That reminds me. Was it The Exorcist? You can't leave. Is it ever solved? Is it ever solved? Ah, Mario. Is it ever solved? It is it ever solved? Well, I did another video on it. Something ends the chase. The end. I think it is solved. My personal opinion is it is solved. Knowing what it is potentially. Begin it where something, comma, and take it in something, something. Don't go past the first two clues. Told to Homer Brown, you go right straight to it. From there, it's no place for the meat, definitely. He's ever drawn nigh, there will no padlock the creek, ever laid water high. You've been wise and found the blaze. So at that point, like, if you found the blaze, then you look quickly down. And at that point, you know where you are. It may have been solved with that, potentially. And the rest of it, Forrest said he'd never tell his mother. So didn't tell his mother. So, the solve is whatever Forrest Fenn wanted or didn't want to reveal. There is another solve. Another, as I was saying to David, it's a simple, complicated solve that means Forrest was diabolical. And, people are going to go, no, no, it's too simple. It's too simple. So it may be that people don't like the answer. It is a simple answer to the question. Is it ever solved? Maybe people won't like the answer. I think it has to have been solved because Forrest said it was. My treasure has been found. So the answer is it has to have been solved. But what was solved? Me personally, with Davey, I'm saying that all of it was solved, potentially, and it doesn't have to necessarily be me and Davey, but Forrest saying what he said is information enough to lead me to believe that it was. But this wasn't about a searcher or searchers. This was about Forrest making it happen like it's supposed to be. So, whether it's Fly Me to the Moon or, Bill's Cowl or Five Leaf Ciphers or Lost in Thought, Superman, Kent and Esther, doesn't matter. What matters is if Forrest made it happen the way that it's supposed to be, then whoever did it, congratulations to them. And I mean that. I don't care who it is. This poem was, when I first came into this, said it was too much for me. The information here was not something that I could do justice. But that doesn't mean to say, there's Dutchman from the East. He has good information. Obviously, the Queen has good information. There are all those good solutions that are in the poem. And there's the fact that Forrest said his treasure was found. And that's enough for me. It doesn't matter who is the aider, who aided in Forrest in doing what was done. That doesn't matter. What matters is Forrest can make it happen like it's supposed to be. And, I appreciate everybody who has made the effort to aid in that. And like I've said, it's hard to know who is who in the zoo, who is really helping Forrest, and who is a disgruntled searcher who doesn't believe that there's, more than um, a chest that was put into the Rocky Mountains. That's a long-winded answer. Sorry, Amy. Is it? Who's late to the party? Fifth generation warfare. When we get there. Yes, David. Well, maybe before they get there. No, it's they don't. We lost all sound. No, I have not muted myself. Not according to this, anyway. I am still unmuted. Maybe I'm not talking very loud. Did you mute yourself? I lost all sound. No, I'm definitely not muted. So yes, please comment in chat if. Please comment in chat. Thank you, INFJ. Yeah, they can hear me. Good. Thank you. I thought, don't give me problems. Anyway, I am going to have to go because it's 0028. Oh, my birthday, 28. It's 0028 on the 21st of May. 19th of May should have been a good day. I will look to see if there is information that I can put out regarding what you're saying, INFJ. Happy birthday. No, I meant it's just 28 minutes past and 28th of January is my birthday. It's not my birthday now. Although people have been wishing me happy birthday. And it's like, oh, it isn't. All right then. So, thank you for spending time with me. It has been fun. And it's better than talking to a video and then, recording it and then downloading it and doing all that. If you want to spend 2 hours of me going through the poem on my own, then if you choose what it is you want me to explain, then I don't mind doing that. Audio back. Peace out, Boy Scouts. Yeah, I did a solve with that as well for the. I think I sent that to Forrest as well. The shoes that they threw at the. Can't remember it. I know it begins with P. The Boy Scouts. P. Never remember it. And that was one of the first things I did. Not pink. Somebody knows. What were the Boy Scouts? The name of the ranch. Anyway, they threw the shoes on the top of a sign, I suppose it was. So was John Wayne. So were many people. More people than you probably think. See me next time. You will next time, whatever next time is. That is yet to be decided. Remember, if you think of anything that you want to ask, I'm not sure how Paul wants to play it, but I'm open to. Wow. So that's something that I didn't. Oh, don't know who that is. Lou is a Boy Scout. Well, that's a scary statement. We're on about Lulu, who's a campfire girl. Nobody told me the name of that ranch. What was the name of that ranch? Begins with P. In New Mexico. Can't remember. Dope. That's crazy. And ghost stories and marshmallows and all that stuff. Ooh, that's the one. Thank you, INFJ. Somebody had to tell me. It's going to annoy me forever. So yeah, obviously the Homer Brown sort of scout ranch and going down from there, and I can't remember half the solves that I did, but um, there was a trail going through there, going towards the War Memorial and the Moreno Valley. Whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going there. A while ago, I was asked, some of the things that I want to do in America, and it's like, absolutely, want to do that. Definitely want Wyoming. There are some to do with the search states, but there are some to do with like the Space Center, definitely, 100%. And then Mount Rushmore. Would really love to see that. Deadwood. Want to see Calamity Jane, Bill Hickok, and those. There's a few. There's a few. Statue of Liberty, obviously. The White House, obviously. I used to live in the White House, to be fair. Not that sort of White House, but a place called the White House. The White House Farm, it was called, because it was a big White House. Anyway, definitely got to go. Thank you. Boys Life magazine. Is that where the advert was? Thanks, everyone. Right. I'll try and sort something out, Davey. Obviously, we'll speak, Wednesday or whatever when I'm off. But thank you for turning up. And remember, if anybody knows how to do the inviting people on so as we can talk, I think it's going to have to be through Zoom, because I can't see anything on here that says, invite someone so they can come and chat on YouTube, although I would have thought there would have been a way to do that. Okay, Boys Life magazine. Yeah. So thank you. It's a good morning for me, and a good afternoon for you, or good evening for you, I suppose, and a good morning for Davey. And take care, everybody. Thank you very much. If you want anything discussed or talked about, yeah, I can go along with that. If you want anything discussed or want to ask questions, then you can ask them on the night. But I do. It's up to Davey and Paul what they decide. But I reserve the right to say I don't remember. I don't remember. That's what we do. Good night. Thanks for all we do. It's not just me. Thanks, buddy. Hopefully, I'll be awake tomorrow for work. Again, I appreciate you all turning up and listening. They tend to 70 people. I'm quite surprised. So for those lurkers who I haven't spoke to, hi. Thanks for joining me. And cheery ho. One thing I have noticed is nobody from England or the UK. So no Devil Bud or Lady Tarantula or Paul or the others. Adam Foddy. Who else? Brit Chaser. Actually, I haven't heard of him for a while. So thank you people from across the pond who have took time to spend with me. Ciao for now. Richard. Good man. 2 waves. Yes, good to see you. Or read you. I'm sorry, but I'm just about to go because it's 25 to 1 in the morning, and I'm up in 4 hours. 4 hours, gotta go work. Sunday. And it's Jazz Fusion Day, and I hate it. 3 hours of that. Yes, to aid the finder, not the seeker. Talking to Dal about two poems in the chest. No, another poem in the chest. And other stuff. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks, Richard. It means a lot when you come. I'm sorry that I'm going now. Take care. Thank you. I'm going to have to go because I need my beauty sleep. Thanks, Lily, for your compliments. I definitely appreciate them. Not often I get complimented. Thanks. Take care, everyone. Ciao. Yes. Be safe.